Good morning, Year 3. Welcome to our third English lesson. I hope you're all well and that you are well rested and ready to start your day. So the ally for the lesson today is to recap on reading comprehension. So once again, make sure you are organised and prepared. Get your pencil and paper or pen and paper. Use the pause button whenever you need to. So we will begin our quiz, which is partly to do with reading comprehension. The birds chirped, the morning sun shone, and the drone of lawnmowers floated on the air, along with the scent of freshly mown grass. In this sentence, what is being carried in the breeze? Is it number 1, the sound of children playing? Number 2, the smell of grass and the sound of lawnmowers? Number 3, the smell of rain? Or number 4, falling leaves? So in this sentence, what is being carried in the breeze? Number 2, Jacob looked out the window and sighed. Which one of the following emotions could Jacob be feeling? Is it number 1, sorrow, number 2, disappointment, number 3, boredom, or number 4, any of the above? What does a drone mean? If you look in the first sentence above, it says, the birds chirped, the morning sun shone, and the drone of lawnmowers floated on the air, along with the scent of freshly mown grass. So, what does drone mean? Is it number 1, a continuous noise? Number 2, a loud sound? Number 4, a quiet sound? Number 3, a quiet sound, and number 4, an unbearably loud noise. He listened very carefully. No one else was stirring. What does stirring mean in this sentence? Is it number 1, mixing something for breakfast? Number 2, being excited? Number 3, moving? Or number 4, going around in circles? And the last one, what is Jacob listening out for in question 5? So what's he listening out for? That's the one that we've just done. It's actually question 4. So is he listening out for, number 1, signs that anyone else is awake? Number 2, the sound of lawnmowers? Number 3, the sound of the birds chirping? Or number 4, signs of rain? Okay, so let's go back to number 1. So in this sentence, what is being carried in the breeze? It's number 2, the smell of grass and the sound of lawnmowers. Number 2, Jacob looked out the window and sighed. Which one of the following emotions could Jacob be feeling? It is number 4, any of the above. Number 3, what does drone mean? In this case, it is number 1, a continuous sound. The sound just keeps going because they're mowing the lawn. It's not going to stop until they turn the lawnmower off. So the sound is constantly in the background. Next one, what does stirring mean in this sentence? It's definitely not mixing something for breakfast. It's number 3, moving. And the last one, what is Jacob listening out for in question 5, which is actually question 4? It's number 1, signs that anyone else is awake. How did you do? That was a simple reading comprehension quiz. So now you need to decide fact or opinion. Is it true or is it just someone saying something but it's not true? It's just what they think. Which one of the following is not an opinion? So not an opinion. My sister is not very good at sports is number 1. Number 2, what time is it? Number 3, cats make the best pets. And number 4, mountain climbing is an exciting activity. Let's move on to number 2. Which one of the following is a factual statement? So fact, true. Canada has 2 official languages, English and French. Number 2, French is more difficult to learn than English is. Number 3, can you speak French? And number 4, French is easy to learn. Which of these is not an opinion? Which of these is not an opinion? Number 1, she said that her favourite colour is red. Number 2, purple is a much nicer colour than red. Number 3, purple flowers look the most delicate in the garden. And number 4, red cars are too flashy. Which one of the following expresses an opinion? Which one of the following expresses an opinion? Number 1, is it Friday today? Number 2, my cousin's name is Edward. Number 3, hot chocolate is delicious. And number 4, stop shouting! And finally, which one of the following is not a fact? It's not a fact. Joe is, number 1, Joe is wearing a blue shirt today. Number 2, Joe looks good in blue. Number 3, blue is a primary colour. And number 4, we have run out of blue paint. So let's mark fact or opinion. So number 1, which one of the following is not an opinion? It is number 2. What time is it? So they're asking a question. They're not making a statement about anything. They're asking a question. So it's number 2. Which one of the following is a factual statement? It is number 1. Canada has 2 official languages, English and French. Number 3, which of these is not an opinion? It is number 1. She said that her favourite colour is red, so it's fact. It's not an opinion. Which one of the following expresses an opinion? So, number 3. Hot chocolate is delicious. That's a person's point of view. It's not necessarily true. Some people may find chocolate to be awful to drink, so it is a person's personal thought or opinion. And last of all, which one of the following is not a fact? So it's not a fact. And it's number 2, Joe looks good in blue. Someone else may think Joe looks awful in blue. So that is an opinion. It's not a fact. That's someone's thought. Let's move on. We're into metaphors, comparing two unlike things. Complete this metaphor. With its locked doors and tiny window, the dark, cold room was a... Is it number 1, prison, number 2, library, or number 3, classroom? Complete this metaphor. She showed no sympathy or feeling for others. Her heart was a... Number 1, night star, number 2, golden locket, number 3, stone, or number 4, lively spring. Which of these is not a metaphor? Number 1, the sky was a blanket of colours. The sea was a roaring tiger. She stood as still as a statue. The lake was a mirror, perfectly reflecting the shoreline. Complete this metaphor. The narrow road its way through the mountain pass. And sorry, I forgot to add in, is it number 1, lost, number 2, wriggled, number 3, snaked, or number 4, continued on? Which of the following is a metaphor? Is it number 1, the trees snapped like matchsticks? Number 2, he crept as quickly as a mouse? Number 3, he crept quietly like a mouse? Or number 4, the trees were matchsticks snapping in the fierce winds? Okay, let's mark. So number 1, it would be prison. That matches that sentence best. Number 1, prison. So because all the doors are locked and there are tiny windows. So prison. Number 2, she showed no sympathy or feelings for others. Her heart was a, number 3, stone. Number 3, which one of these is not a metaphor? You would have spotted the simile. It's number 3, she stood as still as a statue. Number 4, the narrow road, something its way through the mountain pass. Now, I think this one's a bit confusing. So if you chose if you look at the picture, you can see it looks a bit like a snake. But if you chose number 2, wriggled, I would accept number 2 as well. So I'm going to say number 2 and number 3, I would accept. And the last one, which of the following is a metaphor? It's number 4. The trees were matchsticks snapping in the fierce winds. And now we have the grammar quiz. So number 1, choose the correct sentence. I'll take one of them jumpers. That does not make sense. So what should the speaker be saying? Instead of saying, I'll take one of them jumpers, do they say, I'll have one of them jumpers, or I'll take one of those jumpers, or number 3, I'll just grab one of them jumpers, or number 4, I'll have myself one of them jumpers? So think grammar. So you need to choose the correct sentence. I could have learned my 6 times table, but I couldn't be bothered. That is grammatically not correct. So is the correct one number 1, I could have learned my 6 times table, but I didn't care enough to try? Or number 2, I could have learned my 6 times table, but I didn't care enough to try? Or number 3, I could have learned my 6 times table, but I couldn't be bothered? Or is it number 4, I could have learned my 6 times table, but I couldn't care less? That could be quite tough. Choose the correct sentence. I ain't had no breakfast. That is grammatically not correct. So is it number 1, I haven't had no breakfast? Or number 2, I ain't had any breakfast? Or number 3, I haven't had any breakfast? Or number 4, I've not had no breakfast? So choose the correct sentence. He should have been here today. That's incorrect. So which one should it be? Number 1, he should have been here today. Number 2, he should have been here today. He weren't here today. And number 4, he were nowhere today. Gosh. And last of all, that's the team that won the cup. That's grammatically incorrect. Is it? Is the correct sentence number 1? That's the team what won the cup. Number 2, that's the team won the cup. Number 3, that's the teams won the cup. Or number 4, that's the team which won the cup. So let's mark the grammar. So I'll take one of them jumpers is definitely incorrect. So what did you choose? It's number 2, I'll take one of those jumpers. And number 2, I could have learned my 6 times table, but I couldn't be bothered. So you could go for number 3, I could have learned my 6 times table, but I couldn't be bothered. Number 4 is interesting. I could have learned my 6 times table, but I couldn't care less. It's still number 3. Okay, choose the correct sentence. I ain't had no breakfast. I've not had no breakfast is definitely not correct. I haven't had any breakfast is number 3. And he should have been here today. It is number 1. He should have been here today. Rather than should have. And last of all, that's the team that won the cup. It's number 4. That's the team which won the cup. How have you done on this quiz? I haven't asked you up to now because I just thought I'd leave it and you will have a better idea than me. But congratulations, some people did the quiz yesterday and they got full marks. I was really excited by that. Okay, here is your activity. Have a short poem. In winter, I get up at night and dress my yellow candlelight. Dressed by yellow candlelight. In summer, quite the other way. I have to go to bed by day. I have to go to bed and see the birds still hopping on the tree, or hear the grown-up people's feet still going past me in the street. And does it not seem hard to you when all the sky is clear and blue, and I should like so much to play, to have to go to bed by day? Well, that's what happens in the summer, doesn't it? The day is much longer, there's more light, and sometimes you end up having to go to bed when it's still light. So here are some questions for you to answer, and hopefully that will come back in a moment. And here's another set of questions that you will need to answer, and that will be followed by Florence Nightingale. So simple reading task and some questions on the right hand side. So I look forward to seeing you work. Good luck with the task. Remember, read to understand. Make sure you understand what you've read. Sometimes people like to look at the questions first before they read, because then they have an idea of what they're going to be looking for after they've read the whole piece. So it's not a huge amount of reading, and it is multiple choice for 4 of those, so it should be very straightforward. I look forward to seeing you work. Good luck with the task. Have an enjoyable day. I look forward to speaking to you tomorrow. We're close to the end of term, so thank you very much for continuing to persist with online learning. It's not easy. So thank you very much. Bye for now.